worked in the fashion industry and taught at Parsons School of Design. And I'm going to talk to you today about how to reevaluate and look at your career, look at what you need to do to reboot your career, and also how to kind of assess and look at a strategy to move forward in looking for a new job, creating your portfolio, and also looking at technology and how that's changing and what the job market is offering right now. So first of all, I'm going to talk about a self-evaluation. So we all have gone through the process of looking at ourselves, what kind of brands we are interested in, and where we want to work, and what are our skill sets. How we look at this is really important because we want to be honest about what we want to do with our everyday life and where we want to end up when we wake up in the morning and go to a job and work with other people. So I think the first thing that you want to look at is, what does your resume look like? How do you want to enhance it and talk about the skills that you have and that you want to focus on in terms of your strengths and how you want to have this look on your resume. The second thing is your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have one, you need one, and you need to relook at it and look at what it's saying about you and the words that you're using to describe your skills and your experiences. The other piece is your portfolio. Okay, so it's been sitting there for a while or you've worked on it a little bit. You have to look at how you really want to address what your portfolio says about you. Are there things that you just don't want in there that you kind of cringe at when people are looking at, and are there parts of it that you're really proud of? Also, what's the information that you have and what's the documentation or photographs or anything that you've worked on in your career with your job at the moment? Or do you have something that you've left out? The other point, the second point, is research. Where do you want to work? What companies are interesting to you? How do you want to progress your career? Are you a design assistant right now? Are you a senior designer? How do you want to move forward? How do you want to move up? And what do you need to do? So those things are the things that you want to look at in terms of where you want to move when you're looking for a new position. The other thing is researching the company's health. What's going on with that company? What is their overall design situation look like? Do they have directors? Do they have the position that you're looking for even? So you want to research how they're set up and what the company's profits are. If it's a public company, you can look at how they're doing. If it's a private company, you're going to have a little bit more of an issue of finding out how their sales and how their annual growth is. So you want to look at that. You also want to touch base with your friends that are working at different companies and seeing where they're at. And that brings me into connecting with people that you know. I just had a student ask me about the West Coast, what's going on in the West Coast. Do I have any companies that are ethical and sustainable that I can connect her with? Knowing that I might have somebody that I know that I can connect her with, and I do. So it's really important to connect with the people that you trust, that you have a good relationship with, that you've built a relationship with, and that they trust you to give you a contact to where you're looking to go. The last thing is strategy. You really want to create a strategy for yourself and kind of organize yourself so it's not such a big project and something that you're intimidated by. So I think what you really want to do is sit down, create a space for yourself, create a little studio, get yourself going in terms of looking at your portfolio, redesigning, recreating, however you're recreating, whether it is by hand or a combination by hand and technology, Photoshop and Illustrator, and really create a presentation for yourself. Also, your strategy should include your visual communicative part. Are you going to be creating a digital presentation and having that presentation be really focused and understood and edited for the viewer to be able to get and understand your aesthetic and your design ability once you send it to them, along with your resume and a cover letter? So you really want to see how that looks. Maybe test it out and send it to a friend of yours and see what they think. Send it to somebody that doesn't know your fashion side of you, a friend that can ask you some questions about it, and see if those questions are answering the situation of what you want to have the viewer understand when they receive this. The other thing is, what is going on with technology? Are you looking at technology in a way that a company is? Are there things that possibly you could upgrade yourself and put into your strategy to have you be more marketable? The one thing that's coming to mind right now is Clo 3D. Clo 3D is innovating the fashion industry in terms of tech packs and the way people are working. It also goes back to what's happening with companies that are integrating and updating their systems from a web PDM base or PLM base into Clo technology. So if you don't know what it is, just look at what you can find and Google Clo 3D. There are other programs that exist, but this one I'm most familiar with. In conclusion, I want you to think about all the things I discussed today, and that goes back to the self-evaluation, research in what you're interested in, and strategy on how you're going to get there. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon.